Hai Mas Rian,
Halo, Mas Ilham, kabar?
kabar baik. Terima kasih sudah menyelamatkan di Argentine ini. Eh, siap, Mas.
Halo.
Handphone Mas bisa buat pakai background virtual background
Hai
gitu
Mas
nggak? Terus nanti
Rian.
dibuat landscape.
Enggak, tapi I'm currently opening my laptop. Halo, so don't worry. Mas Ilham, kabar? Still loading now. Take some time. Sorry ya,
Kabar
Mas.
baik. Terima
Loh,
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini.
Oh, let me take
Eh,
a screenshot. Mas, ayo, Mas.
siap,
Halo.
Mas. Handphone Mas bisa buat pakai
Mas,
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Enggak,
jadwal ya.
tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
masih mau
currently
setting
opening my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
dulu.
Halo, Mas Ilham, kabar? Still loading now. Take some time. Sorry ya,
Kabar
Mas.
baik, terima
Loh,
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini.
Oh, let me take
Eh,
a screenshot. Mas, ayo, Mas.
siap,
Halo.
Mas. Handphone Mas bisa buat pakai
Mas,
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Enggak,
jadwal ya.
tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
masih mau
currently
setting
opening my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
dulu.
Halo, Mas Ilham, kabar? Still loading now. Take some time. Sorry ya,
Kabar
Mas.
baik, terima
Loh,
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini.
Oh, let me take
Eh,
a screenshot. Mas, ayo, Mas.
siap,
Halo.
Mas. Handphone Mas bisa buat pakai
Mas,
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama jadwal
Enggak,
ya.
tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
masih mau
currently
setting
opening my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
dulu.
Halo, Mas Ilham, kabar? Still loading now. Take some time. Sorry ya,
Kabar
Mas.
baik, terima
Loh,
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini.
Oh, let me take
Eh,
a screenshot. Mas, ayo, Mas.
siap,
Halo.
Mas. Handphone Mas bisa buat pakai
Mas,
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama jadwal
Enggak,
ya.
tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
masih mau
currently opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
dulu.
Halo, Mas Ilham, kabar? Still loading now. Take some time. Sorry ya,
Kabar
Mas.
baik, terima
Loh,
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini.
Oh, let me take
Eh,
a screenshot. Mas, ayo, Mas.
siap, Mas.
Halo.
Handphone Mas bisa buat pakai
Mas,
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Enggak,
jadwal ya.
tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
masih mau
currently opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
dulu.
Halo, Mas Ilham, kabar? Still loading now. Take some time. Sorry ya,
Kabar
Mas.
baik, terima
Oh,
Loh,
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini.
Oh, let me take
Eh,
a screenshot. Mas, ayo, Mas.
halo
Siap.
Arik,
Halo.
Mas aku jadi handphone Mas bisa buat
Halo,
pakai
nanti
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
bentar,
jadwal ya.
Enggak, tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
Mas
masih mau
currently
sekarang ya.
opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
Berarti
Halo,
itu
dulu.
perlu dijadiin
Mas Ilham,
host
kabar?
yang udah
Still
masuk.
loading now.
Oke.
Take
Oke,
some time.
nanti
Sorry ya,
kabar
Mas.
baik. Terima
Oh,
Loh,
kasih
oke.
sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini.
Oh,
Ini ya,
let me
nanti kalau
take
mau
a
proper gitu
screenshot.
ya.
Mas, ayo, Mas.
Halo
Siap.
Arik,
Halo.
Mas aku jadi handphone Mas bisa buat
Halo,
pakai
nanti
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Bentar,
jadwal
Mas
ya.
ya.
Tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
Mas
masih mau
currently
sekarang ya.
opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
Berarti
Halo,
itu
dulu.
perlu dijadiin
Mas Ilham,
host
kabar?
yang udah
Still
masuk.
loading now.
Oke.
Take
Oke,
some time.
nanti
Sorry ya,
kabar
Mas.
baik. Terima
Oh,
Loh,
oke.
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini. Ini
Oh,
ya,
let me
nanti kalau
take
mau
a
proper
screenshot.
gitu ya.
Mas, ayo, Mas.
Halo
Siap.
Arik, Mas
Halo.
aku jadi handphone Mas bisa buat
Halo,
pakai
nanti
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Bentar,
jadwal
Mas
ya.
ya.
Tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
Mas
masih mau
currently
sekarang ya.
opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
Berarti
Halo,
itu
dulu.
perlu dijadiin
Mas Ilham,
host
kabar?
yang udah
Still
Oh,
masuk.
loading
dari
now.
Oke.
pemimpin ya.
Take
Oke,
some time.
nanti
Sorry ya,
kabar
Mas.
baik. Terima
Oh, oke.
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini. Ini
Oh,
ya,
let me
nanti kalau
take
mau
a
proper
screenshot.
gitu ya.
Mas, ayo, Mas.
Halo
Siap.
Arik,
Halo.
Mas aku jadi handphone Mas bisa buat
Halo,
pakai
nanti
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Bentar,
jadwal
Mas
ya.
ya.
Tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
Mas
masih mau
currently
sekarang ya.
opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
Berarti
Halo,
itu
dulu.
perlu dijadiin
Mas Ilham, kabar?
host yang udah
Oh,
Still
masuk.
loading
dari
now.
Oke.
pemimpin ya.
Take
Oke,
some time.
nanti
Sorry ya,
kabar
Mas.
baik. Terima
Oh, oke.
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini. Ini
Oh,
ya,
let me
nanti kalau
take
mau
a
proper
screenshot.
gitu ya.
Mas, ayo, Mas.
Halo
Siap.
Arik,
Halo.
Mas aku jadi handphone Mas bisa buat
Halo,
pakai
nanti
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Bentar,
jadwal
Mas
ya.
ya.
Tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
Mas
masih mau
sekarang
currently
ya.
opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
Berarti
Halo,
itu
dulu.
perlu dijadiin
Mas Ilham,
host
kabar?
yang udah
Still
Oh,
masuk.
loading
dari
now.
Oke.
pemimpin ya.
Take
Oke,
some time.
nanti
Sorry ya,
kabar
Mas.
baik. Terima
Oh, oke.
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini. Ini
Oh,
ya,
let me
nanti kalau
take
mau
a
proper
screenshot.
gitu ya.
Mas, ayo, Mas.
Halo
Siap.
Arik,
Halo.
Mas aku jadi handphone Mas bisa buat
Halo,
pakai
nanti
background
kita nunggu
virtual
Mas
background
Rian.
gitu
Mas
nggak?
nanti
Terus
kita
nanti dibuat
briefing
substansi terlebih dahulu sama
Bentar,
jadwal
Mas
ya.
ya.
Tapi
Sementara aku
I'm
Mas
masih mau
sekarang
currently
ya.
opening
setting
my
Zoom-nya
laptop.
Berarti
Halo,
itu
dulu.
perlu dijadiin
Mas Ilham, kabar?
host yang udah
Still
Oh,
masuk.
loading
dari
now.
Oke.
pemimpin ya.
Take
Oke,
some time.
nanti
Sorry ya,
kabar
Mas.
baik. Terima
Oh, oke.
kasih sudah
Mas pakai
menyelamatkan di
impact lah.
Argentine ini. Ini
Oh,
ya,
let
nanti
me
kalau
take
mau
a
proper
screenshot.
gitu ya.
Mas ayo Mas.
Halo
Siap.
Arik, Mas aku jadi
Ya,
info Mas
siap.
bisa buat
Halo,
nanti kita nunggu Mas Deris nanti jawab siapa Deris
Hai Kak Deris,
sama
Enggak,
calon
tapi
itu Mas
currently
Arik
opening my laptop.
berarti
Halo,
itu perlu dijadiin
Mas.
yang udah masuk.
dari pemimpin ya.
Oke, aku ganti baju.
Nanti aku udah terima kasih terima
Oh,
kasih.
Nanti aku ganti baju.
Mas
Buat
pakai
Oke.
impress lah.
ya
Oh,
umumnya ya
let me take a screenshot.
gitu ya. Mas Rian
Mas, ayo,
dari
Mas.
ASEAN Youth
Halo,
Organization.
Arik.
Mas aku jadi info Mas bisa buat nanti kita nunggu Mas Deris nanti jawab siapa
Hai Kak Deris,
sama
Enggak,
calon
tapi
sekarang ya,
currently
berarti itu perlu dijadiin yang udah masuk.
dari pemimpin ya.
Oke, aku ganti baju.
Oh iya, aku udah terima informasi.
Nanti aku ganti baju.
Mas pakai
Oke.
impress lah.
Ya
Oh,
umumnya ya.
let me take a screenshot.
Mas Rian
Mas, ayo,
dari
Mas.
ASEAN Youth Organization. Mas aku jadi info Mas bisa buat nanti kita nunggu Mas Deris nanti jawab siapa
Hai Kak Deris,
sama calon
tapi
sekarang ya,
Halo,
berarti itu perlu dijadiin
yang
udah masuk.
dari pemimpin ya.
Oke, aku ganti baju.
Oh iya, aku udah terima informasi.
Nanti aku ganti baju.
Mas pakai
Oke.
impress lah.
Ya
Oh,
umumnya ya.
let me take a screenshot.
Mas Rian kalau kegiatan ini akan dibuat semi formal sehingga nggak informal banget tapi juga nggak formal banget. Di mana kegiatannya nanti bakalan full dialog interaktif dengan moderator dan juga partisipan, sehingga harapannya ketika narasumber menyampaikan pun itu juga sambil menyapa para partisipan, kayak kasih komen dong, kasih reaction dong, dan lain sebagainya ketika proses Kak Deris sama Mas Rian menyampaikan sesuatu. Agendanya seperti ini. Open gate nanti ada di 14.40, itu sekitar 3 menit lagi. Lalu nanti akan ada opening MC seperti biasa. Lalu MC nanti akan menyampaikannya itu kepada moderator. Lalu moderator akan memberikan opening speech kepada Ibu Deputi, Ibu Woro. Nanti beliau akan membuka dengan opening speech ini. Lalu setelah opening speech ini dilanjutkan dengan talk show. Nah, nanti talk show akan mengalir seperti biasa, tapi pertanyaannya ada pada 4 poin yang sudah ada di tor yang tadi saya kirimkan. Pertanyaan itu sifatnya juga akan sangat mengalir. Tidak baku pertanyaan satu, terus lanjut pertanyaan kedua, enggak. Tetapi itu hanya sebagai acuan bagi moderator untuk berdiskusi ke depan. Tapi ketika sela-sela nanti juga boleh dong kasih pertanyaannya, kalian pengen mengeksplor lebih dalam terkait apa, nah itu di kolom chat, sehingga kita mengharapkan akan ada two ways interactions yang interaktif antara peserta dan juga narasumber. Lalu di akhir nanti kita juga akan ada door prize. Door prize itu kita kasih kepada partisipan yang mereka pertanyaannya terbaik atau mereka yang bisa menjawab beberapa kuis kayak gitu, nanti akan dipandu sama moderator. Singkatnya seperti itu, Kak Deris sama Mas Rian. Mungkin ada pertanyaan terlebih dahulu dari Mas Deris sama Mas Rian.
Dari aku aman sih.
Oke. Mas Ilham, mungkin saya boleh konfirmasi ya Mas. Karena kebetulan kan karena saya baru dapat info juga, mau mastiin aja. Jadi audiensnya itu orang Indonesia semua berarti ya?
Sebenarnya audiensnya itu nggak cuma orang Indonesia, tapi ada dari luar juga. Cuman presentasinya 90% yang daftar orang Indo. Jadi gitu. Tapi tetap menggunakan bahasa Inggris ya, Kak Deris sama Mas Rian, walaupun gitu.
Oke, siap. Itu aja sih paling ya. Sisanya, jadi memang interaktif dengan peserta, karena ini acara nggak formal ya, jadi bisa lebih santai. Dan itu sih paling kalau dari saya konfirmasi. Kalau bajunya mau pakai yang kita sekarang pakai baju nggak apa-apa kan Mas, kaos gini?
Nggak apa-apa.
Walaupun ada Bu Deputi. Oke, siap.
Iya, nggak apa-apa.
Itu aja Mas. Terima kasih.
Thank you Mas Rian, terima kasih banyak. Kak Deris, aman kah?
Uma aman.
Siap. Ini suaranya masih ngantuk banget nih, jet lag banget nih kayaknya.
Iya, terus aku udah siap harus berangkat ke Stanford besok. Jadi kayak baru sampai New York langsung berangkat lagi. Aduh.
Oke,
Di
oke.
sana jam
Semangat
berapa,
ya.
Mas?
Sekarang jam 8 pagi, cuman tadi aku miskom
Oh,
sama Mas Hanang. Kirain aku jam 4 subuh, karena beda time zone kan.
iya.
Oke, em, Mas Mbak, Kak Dery sama Mas Rian, sebentar lagi kita akan mulai untuk open Zoom-nya karena sudah ada beberapa waiting participant. Yang daftar di WA Group sudah sampai 900, tapi rate konversi yang akan join-nya berapa nanti kita lihat, belum bisa memastikan gitu ya. Thank you,
Baik,
nanti kalau ada pertanyaan bisa by WA atau by kolom chat di Zoom. Terima
oke,
kasih.
thank you. Ini aku stay aja di
Arik,
sini.
silakan kalau ada dari Arik.
Ini stay aja di sini, Mas.
Oke, halo kakak-kakak semua, salam kenal semua ya. Saya Arik dari Pemimpin ID. Mungkin sedikit adjustment aja ya, Kak Hanang. Kalau di rundown kan kita 18.40, tapi mungkin nggak apa-apa kita mulainya di 18.45 aja. Untuk nunggu yang lain juga untuk segera masuk. Jadi kita masih ada sekitar 4 menit ya untuk barangkali ada dari Mas dan Mbak semua, khususnya pengisi acara yang mau prepare dan lain sebagainya itu boleh banget. Kita yang penting sebenarnya standby aja, kegiatannya akan dimulai tank pukul 7 waktu Indonesia Barat. Tapi boleh standby aja karena nanti di 15 menit pertama itu kita hanya ngarahin peserta untuk join ke Zoom-nya. Terus selain itu mungkin boleh minta tolong ya Kak Hanang untuk seluruh pengisi acara dan panitia yang terlibat dibantu jadi co-host semua dulu biar enak nanti untuk ngatur teknis Zoom-nya, khususnya para pengisi acara bisa langsung mute unmute dirinya. Soalnya kalau dari panitia kita akan teknisnya paling gini sih Kanang, untuk partisipan itu baru diarahin untuk unmute mereka kalau mereka raise hand dan lain sebagainya untuk mengurangin noisy dan lain sebagainya. Jadi boleh dibantu untuk seluruh pengisi acara untuk dijadikan co-host juga. Seperti itu aja sih mungkin. Untuk selanjutnya mungkin akan langsung di take over sama teman-teman pemimpin ID untuk lead dan organize kegiatannya ya Kak. Titip tadi boleh dibantu yang ada nama pemimpin.id-nya dijadiin co-host semua dulu dan seluruh pengisi acara juga. Tapi mungkin ada baiknya Kak sebelum, karena kita pas 18.45 langsung ingin start, mungkin kita boleh doa bareng dulu. Semoga kegiatan malam ini bisa berjalan dengan baik, lancar, dan kita bisa berbagi banyak manfaat untuk seluruh teman-teman yang menjadi partisipan di kegiatan ini. Berdoa menurut agama dan kepercayaan masing-masing dapat dimulai. Berdoa dapat dicukupkan. Semangat kakak-kakak semua. Nanti di 18.45 dari tim teknis dan operation akan langsung start admit peserta dan ngikutin alur dan flow yang udah ada di rundown ya. Semangat semuanya. Oh, terakhir Kak Hanang izin. Eh, ini emang belum disetting untuk interpreternya ya opsinya.
Interpreternya belum join, jadi masih aku minta buat join, baru bisa aku tambahin di operator. Sebentar ya, Arik ya.
Oke. Berarti kita coba tunggu mereka aja ya biar lengkap seluruh pengisi acaranya dulu sebelum kita start. Oke deh kalau gitu.
beautiful day. Why are you so blue? Hey, it's been too long that you shut your heart out. Well, I know it's true. Sometimes love can hurt, so give it some time. One day you'll be fine. It's such a beautiful day. Why you're still frowning? Hey, it's been too long to contemplate on how to deal with your broken heart all over again till you can feel the love. Oh, when the sun comes after rain, you will live again, feeling love again. Love sometimes goes unseen, what you see on the screen, and always what it seems. Such a beautiful day, let's celebrate it. Hey, it's been so long since the last time you let the birds sing and fly around you to make you believe that you can also fly. 'Cause when the sun comes after rain, you will live again, feeling love again. Love sometimes goes unseen, what you see on the screen, and always what it seems. 'Cause such a beautiful day, let's celebrate again.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me, someone I've needed so long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me. Somehow I know I'll be strong. For once I can touch what my heart used to dream of long before I knew. Whoa, someone warm like you would make my dreams come true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before. For once I have something I know won't desert.
Ini dan selanjutnya, semangat itu akan tetap hidup dan menyala.
Peran dan upaya pemerintah dalam merealisasikan amanat dan program bagi masyarakat semakin kuat dengan adanya sinergi lintas bidang. Kehadiran ASEAN Academy serta kolaborasi yang digagas oleh pemimpin.id membuktikan peran para pemimpin muda yang siap berkontribusi untuk Indonesia.
Peran pendidikan dalam menciptakan perubahan dan membangun manusia Indonesia seutuhnya perlu didukung dengan kesadaran bahwa pendidikan sejatinya adalah tugas bersama. Pemimpin ID hadir untuk mendukung terwujudnya pendidikan yang inklusif dan memerdekakan.
Kontribusi sektor industri melalui korporasi semata-mata tidak hanya untuk komersialisasi. Korporasi memegang peran penting dalam memperluas manfaat bagi masyarakat melalui tanggung jawab sosial perusahaan atau CSR. Kehadiran pemimpin ID semakin membuka peluang bagi korporasi untuk berdampak bagi para penerima manfaat.
wawasan. Peran media tidak hanya sebagai perantara informasi. Media pun hadir untuk menyuarakan gagasan serta mengedukasi masyarakat melalui ragam komunikasi. Peran pemimpin ID menebarkan semangat untuk memperluas dampak melalui pesan yang baik dan bermakna.
Indonesia dititipkan Tuhan sebagai bangsa yang majemuk. Gotong royong mutlak menjadi identitas kita sebagai bangsa yang berbineka. Mencerminkan semangat kita sebagai bangsa Indonesia yang saling terhubung dan memberdayakan.
Pemimpin.id hadir untuk kamu, untuk kita semua. Melalui peran serta kolaborasi antar pentahelix, kami percaya semua orang bisa berdampak baik. Masing-masing dari kita dapat menjadi bagian dari menciptakan ekosistem kepemimpinan yang lebih baik dengan belajar menjadi pemimpin yang efektif, inklusif, dan memberdayakan. Mari tumbuh bersama, mari berbagi peran untuk Indonesia.
Kementerian Koordinator Bidang Pembangunan Manusia dan Kebudayaan mempersembahkan SDM Unggul Indonesia Maju. Bukan mimpi, Indonesia bisa menjadi negara adidaya dunia. Bukan mimpi, Indonesia bisa menjadi negara besar dengan ekonomi yang kuat dan memiliki teknologi yang super canggih. Semuanya dimulai dari 3 misi Presiden Joko Widodo 2020-2024 soal peningkatan kualitas manusia Indonesia, pembangunan yang merata dan berkeadilan, kemajuan budaya yang mencerminkan kepribadian bangsa sebagai landasan utama menciptakan sumber daya manusia yang unggul menuju Indonesia maju. Untuk mewujudkan 3 misi Presiden tadi, Kementerian Koordinator Bidang Pembangunan Manusia dan Kebudayaan atau Kemenko PMK mempersiapkan cetak biru siklus pembangunan manusia Indonesia yang bertujuan untuk menciptakan sumber daya manusia yang unggul di segala bidang. Semuanya dimulai dari fase prenatal dan ASI atau 1.000 hari pertama kehidupan. Di fase berikutnya, pendidikan anak usia dini atau PAUD juga penting untuk kita perhatikan dengan baik, agar generasi emas Indonesia di masa mendatang terjaga kualitasnya. Nah, untuk menekan angka anak putus sekolah, juga untuk mempermudah akses pendidikan ke SMP dan SMA atau SMK bagi anak kurang mampu, pemerintah mengintervensi dengan memberikan Kartu Indonesia Pintar ke 21 juta anak tidak mampu. Dan saat ini pemerintah telah memperluas cakupan Kartu Indonesia Pintar hingga ke mahasiswa dengan menerbitkan Kartu Indonesia Pintar Kuliah. Di fase usia produktif siklus pembangunan manusia Indonesia, pemerintah melakukan intervensi ekonomi di fase usia produktif dengan memberikan Kartu Prakerja, juga pelatihan kewirausahaan dan membuat Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja. Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja ini tujuannya adalah menarik investasi sebanyak-banyaknya untuk membuka lapangan kerja sebanyak-banyaknya. Dengan adanya Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja, 13 juta orang yang sebelumnya menganggur bisa mendapat pekerjaan yang layak. Selain intervensi pemerintah di setiap fase siklus pembangunan manusia dan budaya, pemerintah juga hadir memberikan layanan yang terbaik untuk setiap masyarakat. Layanan tersebut antara lain dengan memberikan BPJS Kesehatan dan BPJS Ketenagakerjaan untuk mendukung program Gerakan Masyarakat Sehat dan Sistem Jaminan Sosial Nasional. Dengan semua intervensi dan layanan terbaik yang ada saat ini, pemerintah telah membangun fondasi kuat manusia Indonesia yang unggul di segala bidang. Jadi, mimpi Indonesia untuk menjadi negara adidaya bukanlah isapan jempol belaka.
Terinspirasi dari Teras Rumah Era Kartini, Teras Belajar hadir sebagai wadah temu virtual untuk belajar, berbagi, dan berdiskusi. Teras Belajar untuk Indonesia yang lebih baik.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu, Shalom. Hello, good
Recording
evening
in
everyone.
progress.
Welcome to Teras Belajar ASEAN Youth Leading Series that collaborate with Ministry for Human Development and Culture of Republik Indonesia. Let me introduce myself. My name is Giani, as Master of Ceremony that will guide today's event. Thank you to all teman belajar that joined through Zoom or YouTube for today's event. And for your information, for those of you who have just joined Teras Belajar, we usually call and refer our participant as teman belajar. Okay, so before we get to the main event, let me know where do you guys come from. Okay, I wanna know where do you guys come from. I wanna know what's your story today, what's interesting about your city, and how's your feeling tonight. I personally come from Jakarta and I'm feeling excited today to guide the event for all of you. And what I like about my city is that I can eat many delicious food. I like to eat. I want to know, what do you guys like about your city? Okay, I can see there's from Sulawesi Utara. There's also, oh, Medan, Mamuju, Makassar. Oh, there's also someone who came from Manila. Hello. Tangerang, Binjai, Bone. Okay, there's so many people from all different culture, from all different places in Indonesia and even ASEAN that joining us tonight. So exciting. Okay, but wherever you guys are tonight, I hope we have the same energy, we have the same excitement, we have the same happy thoughts to learn from today's sessions. Okay, but before that, I want to inform all of you that today's session will be conducted in full English. But don't worry, okay, because there is an Indonesian interpreter available. So if you would like to listen in Indonesian or Bahasa, please do follow the instructions in the image below. If you are joining through PC or your laptop, first step, you need to click on the interpreter option next to the share screen. And then you can click on the Bahasa or Indonesian language options. And there you will have your very own interpreter that will help you to understand the language better. And what happened if I join through handphone? Don't worry. The first, click on the more options with the 3-dot symbol. And the second, click on the interpreter options. The third step, click on the Bahasa or Indonesian options. And next, click on the mute original audio options and then done. You will have your very own Bahasa interpreter. I hope that if there's anyone who is experiencing difficulty, please do chat or ask below in the Zoom chat. So as you guys can see in the opening about Teras Belajar, tonight I want to ask what kind of discussion that we will be having tonight. Is there anyone can tell me the answer of what we'll be talking about tonight through Zoom chat? Okay, so because tonight's event is really special, we will be discussing about the role of youth in socio-economic development and ASEAN community building. And we will have an amazing speakers and amazing moderator tonight that will be leading the talk show sessions. And also there's also a Q&A sessions available afterwards, so you guys can ask about anything related to the topic or by Slido, or you can also ask directly through raise hand features. And I have to inform you that in this session, we have a lot of prizes. Yes, we prepare a lot of prizes for you. So don't worry and please pay attention to everything that you learned today. And don't go away before the session's done yet. So you can have the chance and opportunity to have your very own reward and prizes. Next. Okay, so in order so we can have a great sessions, I want to invite you all to join an interactive sessions through Slido. Let's share something before we start our learning sessions. Please go directly to the link on your screen. And there's also UC that helping you through Zoom chat to access the Slido. And please join the Slido and provide your best answer to the question by opening the link displayed on the screen or by clicking the link sent by Pimin through the Zoom chat column. So have you guys joined the Slido yet? Let me know if you guys have joined through Zoom chat or maybe by reacting with different emojis. You can also scan the Slido. Yo, Revita just joined the Slido. Okay, don't worry. We no need to rush. We will be waiting for you. There's some of the questions that are provided in the Slido that needs to be answered regarding for tonight's sessions. Okay, please do join the Slido and provide your best answer to the questions. Oh, there's also someone joining from Philippines. There's also from Vietnam. It's so happy for me to greet all of you here. Okay, I can see that people are joining. Hello, GP. Okay. Okay. Okay, so okay, let's start from the first questions. If you were compared to a country, what represent your feeling tonight? For me personally, what country does represent my feeling? Of course, Indonesia. Because I feel so happy with our diversity and I feel so happy with our culture and I can feel it tonight. So, oh my God, there's someone who typed poor. Okay, Turkey, Zimbabwe, Jember. Okay, Jember. French. Okay, Mamuju, Japan, Philippines. Okay, can someone maybe type in the Zoom chat why do you choose the country and why does the country represent your feeling? I like Indonesia because I like diversity and it represents me right now. Okay, there's also German. Okay, there's Laras. Of course, Indonesia because the culture. Okay, I want to go to Singapore. I'm very excited. Okay, there's so many of you that are answering tonight. Indonesia, beautiful, full of opportunity. Okay, great. Okay, maybe let's move on to the second questions. What are the second questions? Okay, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear about ASEAN? Okay, for me personally, what is the first thing that comes to my mind? Of course, diversity, yes. Unity, a culture, great. Community, interesting. Economic corporations, good. Multinational, persahabatan, okay. Friendship, that's great. Grow, peace. Oh, there's so many meaningful words here. I love it. Wonderful, solid, interesting, tropical. Yeah, it's kind of hot lately. Multinational, wonderful. Yes, come, friendly. I agree with. We are very friendly. Hot. Yes, it's really hot right now. A culture, forest. Yes, I love forest. Organizations. The history. Oh, what do you like about our history? Okay, unique culture. Agreed. Variety. Okay, kind. Yes, we are very kind. Okay, let's move on to the third question. Oh, there's Yusuf say traffic. We can all relate to that. especially here in Jakarta, the traffic is. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What kind of participations can young people contribute to enhance the development in their own country? What kind of participation that we can contribute? What do you think, guys? Let us know. Volunteering. Okay, great. Community empowerment. Great. Creative. Absolutely. Actions. Leadership. Jadi DPR. Okay, great. Knowledge and critical thinking. Zero-hung agents of change. Educations. Community involvement. Yes, there are so many amazing answers right now. Belajar, studying, recycling, make a change, take a part of an organization, empathetic, be a man of God. Wow, amazing. Make a market of product. There's Ahmad Fauzan that says that we can be anything. The most important is we can be rich. Okay. Creative development, innovations, charity, ethics, leadership. Okay, so the top answer is about educations. I see there's so many young people here that are interested in education development, I think. It's really great to know that. There's also 8 answer that answer creative. Yes, I believe that we are very creative individual in ASEAN, in Indonesians, in every country. Think outside the box. Amazing. Make a startup. Okay. Okay, then. Is there any more questions that we can answer? Pimin? Oh, I guess that's the last questions. So maybe my last questions for you guys before we start the session is, how are you guys feeling about tonight? Are you guys excited? You can type your emoji in the chat, or maybe you can just type, I'm excited. Or maybe with any language that you like that express your excitement. So excited, what's up? Okay, there's so many fire leaping, amazing. Someone is motivated, fighting. Okay, super. Yeah, so excited. Cool. I'm so happy to know that we are on the same frequency and energy level. So maybe without further ado, I would like to check in. Is our moderator is already joining us tonight? So I would like to say thank you once again for teman belajar who have joined and show enthusiasm, amazing enthusiasm that also makes me so excited in the warm-up session through Slido earlier. I'm sure you're all excited to dive into the main sessions. However, before that, allow me to introduce the moderator who will lead our discussions tonight. Is there anyone who already know who our moderator is? Okay, so our moderator for tonight's discussion is Kak Hendarsyah Aditya, Chairman of Pemimpin.id. Okay, so maybe I need to check in first. Is Kak Adit already joining us or not?
Sure, Jenny.
Oh, hello, Kak Adit.
Hello.
Okay, how are you feeling, Kak?
Well, of course, I feel excited. It's very interesting to see the chat because it's always increasing. Just a moment, and I get more than the 1999 chat in here. So, and I'm very glad that I can be the moderator for tonight's sessions. I'm very honored, and well, it's very interesting. And today's topic is really relevant with what happens today, and of course, this topic is very to be discussed with all of us here.
Okay, if you may, can you tell us where are you right now? There's so many people from different regions here right now.
Well, so because you asked for it, currently I'm in Bali.
Ooh.
In Bali. So just today in the morning, I took my flight to Bali. But the interesting things is I went to Bali through the farthest route. So because there is a failure or there is an error with my bookings for the I have to go from Jakarta to Makassar first.
Oh, wow. That's a long flight.
Going to the next flight from Makassar to Bali. So I actually I stepped on 3 islands today of Indonesia. Feels like 1/3 or 1/5 of Indonesia, Java, Bali, Sulawesi, and Bali to these 3 islands. So it's very interesting day for me, and yeah, I feel excited about today.
I hope you're not experiencing any jet lag from 3 islands today.
Yeah,
Okay, so are you ready? Are you ready to lead the sessions tonight?
well, all is good, and the show must go on, so I'm ready to be here.
Okay, so if you're ready, I'll hand over the discussion session to you, Kak Adit. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Gianni. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce myself. So, like Gianni said, my name is Hendra Shaditea, so you can call me Adit. So, I will be the one who facilitated today's discussion in Teras Belajar ASEAN Youth Leading Series that collaborates with Kemenko PMK. And tonight, we will discuss about the role of youth in socioeconomic development and ASEAN community building. And we will discuss this interesting topic, of course, with our amazing teman belajar. It's all of you. So let's hope tonight's sessions will be very insightful for all of us, and we will having an impact in the future. Yeah. So talking about this topic, of course, we know that the role of young generation is no longer in depth in pushing for the progress of the nations, especially in the ASEAN countries. But before we get into it, please welcome Ibu Woro Srihastuti Sulistyaningrum, the Deputy for Coordination of Quality Improvement of Children, Ministry for Human Development and Culture of Republic Indonesia. So that will open our discussion today. Is Ibu Woro already here?
Yes. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So thank you very much, the moderator and all of you. I see that the spirit is here tonight. Yeah. We are joining with the young people, so I have to be young again actually. So I will deliver my opening remarks. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May prosperity be upon us. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greeting of virtue. Honorable speakers, Mr. Ahmad Afrian, Program Director of the ASEAN Youth Organization, Mr. Teras Nagara, President ASEAN Korea Frontier Forum 2023, Mrs. Astrid Nadia Rizkita, Board Member of ASEAN Africa Youth Government, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, attending virtually. It is with a great pleasure and utmost honor that I stand before you today virtually to welcome our distinguished speakers, esteemed participants, and passionate youth advocates from around Indonesia and ASEAN countries to this momentous occasion. On behalf of the Coordinating Ministry of Human Development and Culture of the Republic of Indonesia, I'm privileged to address you all as we discuss the role of youth in socio-economic development and ASEAN community building. Today, we are gathered to recognize and celebrate the incredible potential and transformative power within our nation's vibrant, dynamic, and talented youth and the ASEAN community. The youth represent the driving force behind progress, innovation, and sustainable development, serving as a catalyst for positive change in our societies. As we navigate the complexities of an ever-changing world, we must recognize the integral role of, that the youth play in shaping the future of our nation and the ASEAN region. Their energy, passion, and fresh perspective hold the key to unlocking solutions to the most pressing socio-economic challenges we face today. All respectable participants, youth empowerment and engagement are not merely desirable but essential elements for achieving sustainable development goals and fostering an inclusive, prosperous, and harmonious ASEAN community. By empowering our young minds, we invest in the leaders of tomorrow, nurturing a generation that will build bridges, cultivate dialogue, and foster cooperation for a brighter future. The theme of today's discussion, the role of youth in socio-economic development and ASEAN community building, emphasizes the interconnectedness of youth empowerment, socio-economic progress, and regional integration. It underscores the transformative potential of our youth in addressing poverty, inequality, unemployment, and other socio-economic disparities that hinder the region's progress. To harness the full potential of our youth, it is vital that we can create an enabling environment that promotes their active participation, encourages their diverse perspective, and provides them with the necessary tools, skills, and platform to realize their aspirations. We must invest in quality education, vocational training, entrepreneurship, and meaningful employment opportunities that equip our youth with the skills needed to thrive in the digital era and seize the vast opportunities that lie ahead. Moreover, as we envision an integrated ASEAN community, we must empower our youth to be regional ambassadors, connecting cultures, building bridges, and fostering mutual understanding and cooperation across borders. They are the future leaders and change makers who will contribute to the realization of the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 with an emphasis on people-centeredness, inclusivity, and in sustainable development. Respectable audience, today's gathering is a testament to our commitment to nurturing our youth and providing them with the necessary support and platforms to excel. Through collaboration, dialogue, and innovative partnership, we can collectively create an environment where the voice of our youth are heard, celebrated, and acted upon. Let us use this platform as a catalyst for meaningful conversations, fruitful exchanges of ideas, and the forging of networks and collaboration that will enable our youth to shape their own destinies, contribute to the socio-economic development of our nations, and actively participate in building a stronger, more prosperous, and united ASEAN community. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to each and every one of you, and I wish you all a productive, inspiring, and empowering experience as we embark on this important journey together. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. But before I end the speech, actually, I have one question, actually. Is it okay, Pak Moderator?
Sure.
So I hope that everyone can answer the question, because this is a very, very basic question, actually. So everyone ready to answer my question? So the question is, what is the theme of ASEAN Indonesia Chairmanship for 2023? I think you already know about it. Come on, come on, come on, ayo. Googling.
Guys, come on, guys. You can chat on the box for the
Yeah. So, yeah. Maulida. Yeah, you are right. ASEAN Matters Epicentrum of Growth. Good. So I hope the organizer can give the like a prize for the Maulida. This is the first time who asked the question. So thank you very much, Maulida. And I return to moderator for the next session. Please.
Thank you, Woro, for the opening remarks. Well, okay. And before we get into the talk shows, of course, I'm sure that all of you were waiting for it and eager to have this tonight discussions. So before we go into that, actually, because there's a lot of people here, I would ask our Pimin Hello, Mimin. Let's have like a picture together tonight before somebody leave. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you, Mimin. Okay.
Okay.
The photography sessions.
Okay. Are you guys ready? I will count on 1, 2, 3. Say cheese. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Say cheese. All right. That was great. Thank you. I think back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Arvimin, for the photo sessions today. So, without further ado, now as we know that we were talking about the youth participations and how to empower all of the youth here to participate effectively in this community development programs and projects. Surely, Teman Belajar is very excited on talking about these matters with all of the speakers. So, without further ado, let me introduce with our today's speakers. But first of all, on behalf all of the teams and also the hosts for this event, I would like to say and also inform to all of you that Ibu Yuliana Bahar currently cannot join us today because there are urgent matters to do. So we hope next time Bu Yulina Bahar can join our sessions today. But don't worry, because we already prepare another speakers that will be join us today, and it will become very interesting for tonight's session. So first of all, I would like to invite Bapak Ahmad Afrian, Program Director of the ASEAN Youth Organizations. Is Bapak Ahmad Afrian here?
Hi, hello, Mas.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you. So actually, so how I should call you? Is it called Pak Ahmad or Pak Afrian or Mas Ahmad or Mas Afrian?
Just call me Rian. No need
Okay.
with Pa, Mas. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a youth event, right? So
Okay,
we want to make it less
sure.
formal for everyone.
Okay.
Awesome. Nice to meet you, Mas. How are you?
Okay. Thank you, Mas. It's nice to meet you too. Okay, Mas Rian. So actually, what are opinion about tonight's these sessions? So how do you feel about it? Can you share a bit?
I feel honored, to be honest. I know it's quite a bummer, I think, for everyone. Maybe some of you expecting to see Ibu Ana from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but suddenly, due to the unforeseen circumstances, she cannot be with us today. But I do really hope that I could bring more flavor when it comes to the ASEAN youth in region, because I'm representing one of the biggest non-profit youth organization in Southeast Asia, which is ASEAN Youth Organization. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm currently in Cambodia, Mas Adit, right now. So I'm joining from Cambodia. Hopefully that could bring something with you all. I'm currently also working with one of the ASEAN, bodies under the ASEAN Secretariat. And we also currently really focusing, involving to the youth as well, to be able to be more familiar with the ASEAN Secretariat system. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mas Rian. I think that all of the audience here will be waiting for you too, because you are like one of our guest stars for tonight's event sessions. So I'm waiting for our discussions today. So guys, come on, Miss Rian. Yeah, me Mas Rian came from just join us from Cambodia. This is very an international sessions today that we have here from Indonesia, from Cambodia. So I hope that tonight we're having like a very good session. Thank you, Mas Rian. So I will move on to invite the next speakers. Okay, and also for the next one, I would like to invite Ibu Astrid Nadia Rizkita, board member of ASEAN African Youth Government. So mungkin I will call Mbak ya. Like Mas Rian said, we will make it like less formal, so it will be more relevant with all of us. Is Mbak Asit already here? Halo Mbak Astrid.
Yeah, am I audible, Mr. Moderator and Chairman?
Sure, Mbak Astrid. I can hear your voice clear and loud. Okay, so Mbak Astrid, so how the same question to Mas Rian, I would like ask to you. So how do you feel tonight?
I feel again honored, excited, of course, and actually more intrigued actually of the topic that is being raised this evening. This is so in line with what the Indonesian government is focusing, namely the ASEAN, and this year we hold the chairmanship, and actually quite, again, very honored and excited because we'll get to share our perspective, our thoughts on the topic from the perspective of youth leader, from the perspective of youth involved in multilateralism for several years now.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Asit. So it will be like an interesting things for today's topic, right? So so we can move on into the main session. So I would like to invite, last but not least, Mas Deris Nagara, the President of ASEAN Korea Frontier Forum 2023.
Hello, Mas.
Halo, Mas Deris.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you tonight. I'm very excited to meet you, actually.
Thank you so much. Truly an honor.
Okay, Mas Deris, so where are you now? And how's your feeling tonight?
Currently I'm in New York. I just landed yesterday, but tomorrow I will go to California to continue my study in Stanford. So yeah, I'm so excited because like today, maybe because I'm too excited for this event, so I have the miscommunication with the organizer. I thought it would be like 5 a.m. in my time, but it's supposed to be like 7 a.m. in my time. So since I had jet lag and it was like, oh God, it's 5 a.m. and it's turned out it's like 8 a.m. in my time. So that's the moment that I feel like, oh, maybe I'm too excited for this event, and truly honored to meet all of these amazing speakers and also the organizers and participants. So I'm truly happy and extremely grateful to be here to share my insight and my knowledge about the ASEAN.
Thank you, Mas David. So it's also our honor to have you here. We're happy to having you here, and of course, like I said before, it become more global. Mas Rian is in Cambodia, and also you're at New York right now, right? So
yes, New York.
This will become like a very good sessions, and also I hope that you have enough rest before today's sessions. Okay, then because all of the speakers here, so let's start with our discussion. So maybe to have like the initial questions for tonight topic, I will start with some things that maybe with one of easy questions on from point of view. So the question is like, why do you think youth participation is important in socio-economic development and ASEAN community building? This is the question for all of you, but because one like one of everyone always says, ladies start first. So Mbak Astrid, I would like to have you to answer this as the first speakers to answer this. So please, Mbak Astrid.
Yeah. Firstly, of course, I'd also like to thank the organizers, especially the Pemimpin.id, in collaboration with the Coordinating Ministry of Human Development and Culture for organizing this important session and to raise the question about youth participation. I'd like to break down this question into several parts. And actually, this is, even though we have ended the pandemic, or it's already endemic in Indonesia, having this virtual event is important to engage youth, not only in Indonesia, but cross-country as well, noting the theme, which is ASEAN, and also noting that our country is very tremendous, and it's important for us to reach as many as people as possible. And before we dive into the question, there are around more than 400 people in the Zoom room, and hopefully each and every one of you will still be able to be in contact with each other after this event, because I believe that no meeting is coincidental. We are here for a reason. And talking about youth participation, basically based on the term as well, it is such a way that youth, in Indonesia, the age of youth is from 16 to 30 based on our law, can be involved in issues that affect their lives and take part not only as a beneficiary, but also take part in planning and leading community in all spheres of life. And to answer this question, there's a theory, but it's since the 60s, but still relevant until today, which is the Roger Hart's ladder of participation. And it has several rungs or ladders, and there are several zones. The lowest form of participation is declaration tokenism. Basically, the youth that take part in such events with low participation are there because they have to, because they are asked to, or maybe forced to. They don't really know the essence of attending, so there's very low participation. And basically, maybe because ada makanan, so they come, so that's it. When they leave, they don't really know the essence of such activity or such meeting. And then there's the middle form of participation, in which the youth are involved, but there is more adult intervention. So the youth are more, they have to listen more, harus lebih manut, and they have less input to the planning process. And the highest form of participation is in which the decisions are shared equally between the adults and the youth. Does it mean that the youth are better or equal as the adults? That's a separate question, because of course the youth and adults have several gaps, not only age gaps, which is obvious, but also gaps in terms of wisdom, in terms of the know-how, in terms of the knowledge, in terms of life experiences, in terms of what works and what does not work. So we believe, and the form of highest participation of youth in which decisions are shared between adults and the youth is in which the youth can be heard fully. The youth can be on the same table as the adults, not only same table symbolically, but also they have an equal say in what needs to be done. So that's the form of participation of youth. And to answer the question about the importance of socioeconomic development and ASEAN community building, of course, it is equally and highly important, because the youth are essential parts of community, and the ASEAN region is also highly consists of youth and are dynamic, and it is also important to have youth to have a say in things that matter to them, and to give a greater understanding. There are several indicators of social and economic factors, namely income, as stated in the opening remarks of Mrs. Deputy of Coordinating Ministry, education, employment, and there are other factors, namely safety, the social support, and quantitatively, there are several indicators that countries can rely upon in terms of its human development, namely life expectancy, education, gross national income per capita, and the youth, when they are involved in participation from an early age, they can be more involved and informed, so that things that are their concern, things that affect them, can be stated, can be shared, and be heard by the adults, because each generation have their challenges. The theme of the Youth Day last year was intergenerational solidarity. So it is also very resonates with the ladder of participation that we discussed earlier. So, Mr. Moderator, I think that's the answer for that question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mbak Asid. I thought that I'm agree with your point about the youth is not only as the beneficiaries but also their participations and in the highest participations. In the end, the youth want to be heard and also to be part of this context. It means that the youth need to be to be pushed to be participate and given the role into the ASEAN community buildings. Okay, thank you about it. And next one, maybe from Mas Deris. What do you think about it?
All right. First of all, I would like to say that youth participation is very important in building a social economic development or other development area, because as we know, the youth are the future leaders and the youth are the next generation that have to be recognized, fully heard and listened, and also mainstream by all the sectors, especially for the older generations and the governments. I do agree that youth are indispensable to achieving all the socioeconomic development areas and ensuring its contribution toward other sectors, as in a ASEAN community. As one of the young leaders in this agenda, I have witnessed that how youth have enormous potential as a catalyst for inclusive and sustainable human development, youth-led innovations, industrializations, and technological innovations. As we know that the population of the youth in ASEAN countries is very high, as we can see in the data. And Indonesia, as I believe in other countries too, this potential of young people is vital in ensuring the equal socioeconomic development across the nation, and especially now talking about the socioeconomic development in ASEAN and also ASEAN community building, where we share our prosper agreements and resilient on how we'd like to improve our region itself. And it is most evident during the time of the COVID-19 pandemic and its recovery, with while the unemployment of young people was a big threat to Indonesian society. I have seen how youth have shown their resilience through innovations and industry developments. And among other segments in society, youth are the most fluent segment in using digital technology. As in Indonesia, we know that almost 70% of technology-based enterprises were founded by the young people. However, we must realize that youth-driven innovations and industry development are not growing in a vacuum. It requires efforts and investment that target youth capacity building and also preparedness. And this is where the infrastructures, the socioeconomic development that put forward the need of the youth is essential. So just sharing my experiences and knowledge after dedicating 10 years of my experiences toward this issue, it is observable that effort to provide the infrastructures, economic and socioeconomic developments are not an easy task. And I believe that it must be done through a strategic partnership with a multi-stakeholder and intergenerational approach. So, and also I learned this insight when I became the youth delegations in the ECOSOC Youth Forum in the UN headquarters, where I represent Indonesia toward the accelerating the youth capacity in the achieving the SDG itself. And I believe that, you know, to achieve this, it must be done by a strategic partnership with a multi-stakeholder and intergenerational approach, which we also involve not only young people, but also the elder generation. We have to be trust to the current generations. And as youth myself, I've worked together with the governments and civil societies, organizations, and private sectors to deliver concrete actions toward local communities in remote areas that cannot be reached by them. And I'm glad to see how my work have resulted in the development of educations, digitalizations, connectivity, and English learning that benefit more than 2,000 students all over Indonesia. So back then, in 2013, Paguyuban Mojanjika Ciamis and Forum Generasi Berencana, two prominent local youth organizations and adolescent organizations in Indonesia, have inspired me to participate directly in policymaking and on-field initiative. Through some advocacy and program, for example, like Mocha Edu Pride, Genre program, one of our causes, we educate young people, children in remote areas in West Java to have a better educational level and soft skills and also life skill. We established the mini library for, you know, for people there in remote areas to improve their literacy level and invite young leaders of the member organization to facilitate a variety of human development mentoring programs and empower Posyandu Remaja or integrated of healthcare centers for the teenagers, local champions, and family companions. And following the Youth 2030 strategies and also the ASEAN community developments and ASEAN community, I advocate for various issues, including the gender equality, stunting issues, life skills and human development, tourism attractions, sexual reproductive health, family planning, small medium enterprise mentoring, and etc. And now, if we relate to what the areas that covered by socioeconomic development, which mean the index of life expectancy, literacy level, unemployment rates, how we like to have a people-to-people exchange, how we like to increase the human development quality. So it's also part of how we like to build the socioeconomic developments. And I see that youth is, you know, the agent of change. And we have, I mean, in Indonesia, we have more than 60 million people of the youth itself that has to be empowered and have to be guided and facilitated and also be trusted by the governments and also other stakeholders. And now the question is how we would like to, you know, accelerate the youth mainstreaming, which is a strategy for integrating the young people into every aspect of our governments, organizations, our community, and including an individual perspective and shared cultures and also some structure that affect young people itself. And how we would like to boost and, you know, mainstream the young people in our system in political participation, and also how we like to facilitate them in terms of their capacity building and preparedness to achieve the socioeconomic development for our nation, for ASEAN. I mean, like we would like to make, like, you know, resilient regions. And I remain committed to this work to achieving the socioeconomic developments with and for the youth. And I think if not us, who will continue the legacy of, you know, bettering of our world, achieving the equal socioeconomic developments, and if not now, when we will be deemed to play a pivotal role in improvement of our world. And the last thing I would like to say that every other youth, every single soul of the youth has to be recognized. We need to raise the voice for the voiceless, and we also need to listen to their voices, to our voices, have to be recognized, to be heard, to be listened. and also need to take an action. What kind of further action that we like to do for our youth, because we are the next generations that would like to lead our world. I think that's the most important thing that I would like to say, that perhaps describing how important the youth participations in ensuring the economic, socioeconomic developments, and also how to achieve the ASEAN community building itself, the sense of ASEAN centrality, the sense of ASEAN identity, one ASEAN vision. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mas Davis. I think you really incorporate how the importance of the role of the youth in for this community development and also for the socioeconomic development in ASEAN. So I think that all of what you've mentioned about like the integrations, about how the multi-stakeholders should join with this process, and also how the voice of the youth has to be driven more, and how it must be supported to accelerate all of this process. I think you already incorporate all of the importance of the process in the role of the youth itself. I think everyone will agree with it. But let's move on first to Mas Rian. Okay, how do you think about it? How can we incorporate more about the importance of the youth role in this process of development, socioeconomic, and also the community buildings?
Okay, thank you so much, Mas. Totally agree with our amazing speakers. Wow, I get goosebumps hearing their thoughts and also some recommendations they share with us. But I think before I touch and answer the questions, Mas, allow me then to ask to all of the audience, because we're talking about ASEAN youth. May I also request to all of the audience here, can you please share with us, do you know what is the age bracket in ASEAN? So the age bracket meaning that until what age, until and also what age that we can consider youth in ASEAN. Maybe same like in Indonesia, we consider youth between 16 until 30 perhaps, or maybe there are other numbers circulating in your mind. Can you please type, write down on the Zoom chat box right now? I'd like to know. So, okay. 18 until 30 maybe, okay. Oh, someone said they cannot hear my voice, so am I audible? Just want to make sure.
Sure, you're audible.
All right, awesome. 18 until 30, 17 until 35, 17 until 30, 16 until 30, and someone said 15 until 35, right? Awesome. Okay, so in ASEAN, as of now, we recognize youth between 15 and 35. So congratulations for those of you already know, and good luck for you to research more and explore more on this age bracket. Because by this, I think it's also important for us to understand that in specific organizations, maybe for example, Mbak Astrid representing the Asian youth, if I'm not mistaken, they have their own age bracket. But when we talking about the ASEAN as of now, in the official document, we divide and also categorize youth between 15 and 35. It's only like a trivia for everyone. So I still remember Mas Moderator, Mas Adit said that let us start with that really heavy question. Actually, when you say why, for me, it's a very deep question, because the reason why it's why, a lot of homework need to be done, It can be seen not only in Indonesia, but across the Southeast Asia countries, and I believe also in all over the world, because I'm currently also part developing the youth toolkit related to meaningful youth engagement with UNESCO headquarters. So we really think that we face so many hierarchical structures when it comes to meaningful youth engagement, especially when it comes to these Southeast Asia countries. So if you ask us the reason why, we need to have meaningful youth engagement. I totally agree with other speakers, if I may add. Definitely, it is our fundamental right. So I'll start with right. Can you imagine if you already know that your right is taken away, but with someone or maybe some organization in this world? Are we all only, be silent and do nothing? I do really hope that we not do that. Instead, we are doing something to making sure that our right is fulfilled, right? And also exercise well in this world. So meaningful youth engagement is a prerequisite to ensure that young people and our structures can, be able to really exercise and also fulfill this right. So it is definitely a process for us to empower and enables us as a youth to understand, to realize, and also to claim our rights. And also it is a learning process for the adults as well and for the other stakeholders. So it is not only about us only, but it is about everyone, because we cannot just put aside the youth in every program, also policies, because everyone need to be included, right? Including also the youth. Other than that, definitely working with youth and also making sure that our voice not only heard, but making sure our voice also taking into consideration, and we are make sure that these voices really implement in every program and also policies, and also we will involve in the monitoring and evaluations. That is a very important part, because usually, for example, we only invited to the program or maybe hearing session, or maybe there's some conferences and things like that, and that's it. The most important thing is after the event. How can we ensure these policies that we send to the government really taking into considerations our voices? So monitoring and evaluation is also important. So that's why when we are working with youth and we are really making sure this meaningful engagement, meaning that those stakeholders also work with the reality check, because we really relevant, and also we can be able to give them information, and also us also really responsive to making sure that our needs and also everyone needs taking into considerations and to be able to transform the societies. So those are the areas that I would like to highlight for these first questions. Other than that, I think it is also important for us to understand that this meaningful youth engagement needs to be done definitely. We face, again, so many challenges right now. So I'd like to take this opportunity to be able to invite everyone here right now. And thank you so much for your time and energy to join this Friday night sessions for us to be able to discuss. I do really hope that we could discuss more, receiving more questions from you if you need any additional informations and clarification questions, because in ASEAN Youth Organization, we're really focused in meaningful youth engagement. We part of the discussion with the ASEAN Secretariat on the ASEAN Youth Work Plan, my apologies, ASEAN Work Plan on Youth 2025. We just also attended the seniors official meeting on youth with the ministries across the ASEAN member states. We represent one of the non-profit youth organizations. Because we really care, and we do really hope that we can could collaborate later with all of you the attendees tonight. I think that would be all. Mas Adit, back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mas Yan. Yeah, I think it's very good say from you about how we make sure that the youth voice not only listens, but also to be considered and also implemented, and later on to be monitored and also evaluate and take it move on into the next steps. I think it's also everyone. It's not only to make sure that we've been listened, but also to make sure that all of the suggestions, all of our voice is also implemented and to be monitored by the multi-stakeholders here. And also this is what's actually what we hope, all of the speakers here and also all of the organizers here, hoping that all of the around 500 audience here will be part to take part of the roles into how we can develop the socioeconomics and also the community building in ASEAN. So I think that's why this is make it very important to all of us. Okay, now I will move on into the next question. So actually, I would ask this question to Mbak Astrid. So of course, regarding the role of the youth, of course, there is like a lot of things that we can do, and also I'm sure that the audience here also wondering like how I can take from your perspective. I would want to know like how is the best way to engage, to participate, to take on this role, to help like the process of the development of the socioeconomics, especially the ASEAN community buildings. So if the audience here really want to take like a big step and also to want to make what they think to become the reality, so what is the best way to engage it?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for the interesting and very important question. And as we discussed already about the importance of youth participation, and now we come to the essence of, what is the meaningful youth participation. And although we have touched a little upon that in the first question, but I think it's important that I agree that it is our right as the youth, as citizens, as part of community, as part of society, to know what is the meaning actually of the meaningful youth participation itself. And basically, it means that the youth are involved in all stages of the decision making. It means that the youth, for example, in practical matters, in real life examples, are not only involved when it is convenient, or are not only involved only when it is beneficial for those that have interests that are not essentially for the youth itself. Oftentimes, and I think it is quite prevalent, in this, especially in the past 2.5 years throughout the pandemic, a lot of youth platforms are made. It is good, and we commend our fellow youth for that. However, on the other side, sometimes it is seen or considered as something that is, the youth are seen as markets. They are not essentially always empowered to be actors. So we have belief, we have a principle that essentially a real young leader can give birth or can give more platform to other youth leaders, not followers. And in the context, of domestic politics in countries that will face elections, just raising some issue on that we need to discern those that have the best interest for us as youth, and those that only make use of us as we have a big demographic of youth. So basically, as I state, that essentially meaningful participation is when youth are considered and involved in all stages of decision making, namely from the initiation process up to the planning, and then implementation or execution, and the monitoring and evaluation, and involved from the input process until the output and even outcome. Yeah, that's to discern whether an initiative or something is targeted to the beneficial of the youth. And related to the theme, which is the ASEAN, and Indonesia is one of the founding members of ASEAN, and basically in the spirit, in the context of multilateralism, which is like grouping or participation of more countries, or 3 or more countries to interact with each other. Actually, countries that care about the youth also maximize multilateralism platforms in the youth sphere as well. And I believe that the more than 400 youth here come from various backgrounds, and it doesn't mean that you have to come from IR, law, and others, because there is something called the multi-track diplomacy, and various kinds of spheres, various kinds of fields can take part in diplomacy. And other than that, referring to our law, number 37 year 1999, about the foreign relations, that the role or the actors of foreign relations are not only state, not only the executive, but also the legislative as well, also civil society, even private sectors, and us, each and every one of us as Indonesian citizens can take part as actors in foreign relations. And why I raised that issue about multilateralism and youth? Because essentially, not only state-to-state contact is important, but people-to-people contact is important, and the youth have the ability to reach more people, regardless of the limitations and the formalities behind it. And with regards to the pillars of ASEAN, namely the political, the economic, and social cultural, it is also important to involve the youth in such processes. So if the way to engage youth in meaningful participation is to provide platforms for youth, we need to enhance the existing platforms and to build platforms that enable youth to interact in the multilateral context, including the ASEAN. Especially this year, Indonesia is the chairman of ASEAN. It is important for the state, for the government of Indonesia, to empower the Indonesian youth to interact more in that regard with the youth of ASEAN in those pillars. And for example, we recall the last year's chairmanship of G20. It could be done in that regard as well, because different ministries, different institutions also take part in various conferences of ASEAN. So it's important to involve the youth more actively in that as well, and also to maximize the existing platforms of ASEAN, namely our esteemed speaker here, our colleague. It's always a good example to give more platform to them. And also for the seniors or the adults already in those fields, in professional field of, for example, the ASEAN, be it ASEAN Secretariat, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and even other executive institutions in countries, namely other ministries, because again, it's a multi-track diplomacy, to give more platform and support and mentorship to the youth. We have, for example, I think a few days ago, the event of ASEAN, in which our Deputy Ministry of Youth and Sport gave a speech. So it's one of the examples as well, but perhaps try to make it in a way that the youth can actually give impact For example, each country train the youth to be more adept, to be more skilled in diplomacy, to promote their country in a better way, and to present to their seniors in government, in private sector, in academia, to, for example, pitch their country as if they present it to audience from, let's say, Cambodia. What makes Indonesia interesting? Or they can also role play. They can act as if they are from the Malaysia, and have to pitch to the audience as if they are from, let's say, Singapore. What makes their country interesting for Singapore? We do have in the youth sphere popular platforms, namely model simulation meeting. So it could be more focused and more innovated, such that it meets the needs of our seniors in government, in the industry, in the academia, that it can be more beneficial, not only for the youth in terms of learning, but also the needs of the government and the market as well. And for example, the youth that can perform well in such instances can be involved in those institutions. And this is something that more active countries in diplomacy do. They train a step ahead, not only simulation, but also practical terms. So that is something that I can share in terms of meaningful youth participation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Astrid. I think it's a very thorough answers, and I think that it will be clear for all of the audience here about how they can engage more into their role for the socio-economic development and the ASEAN community buildings. And also, I also take notes how like the best engagement is how the youth can participate in all stages in the decision-making process. And also, you mentioned about how the seniors could increase the youth capability by doing some mentorings and other things to increase the capability of the youth, to give them the opportunity to can access their roles into making it more accelerated. So thank you for the answers, Astrid. And also I hope the audience got the main points from what the Astrid says. Okay. Now I will move on into the next questions. I think this question is for Mas Deris, and I think all of you have already mentioned about these questions, but I want to dig in deep a little more about this. So the question is, how can the youth can find a meaningful role in this society of development in the socio-economic and also the ASEAN community building? I think Mas Deris, of course, from the last questions, you already share stories on how you're doing it. I think that you've met like a lot of challenge during the process, and I think that the challenge that make you can elaborate more, and the challenge that help you to find the meaningful role on that point, on that kind of points. And I think that also why we can, I think everyone will agree that we can feel like your patience about these topics regarding it. So could you share more about how to find this meaningful role in the society regarding it? I think that every youth want to be having this meaningful role in the society, but I think that a lot of youth still wondering how I can doing this, gitu. How can I be like Mbak Astrid? How can I be like Mas Deris? How can I be like Mas Rian, who really practically is in all of those stage of decision making in the development and the building of the community in ASEAN.
All right. Thank you so much for the questions. Yeah, actually, I already explained how I engage with the youth empowerments, community organizations, etc. That reflect and also describe how meaningful activities can be done by youth participations in some sectors areas. But the things that I would like to highlight more is that you need to believe in yourself and also finding the answers of two questions that has to be answered by you guys. The first one is why, and the second one is how. So those philosophical questions that always be into my life, and why and how is very kind of easy to be questions like, why and how you want to be here, but the things that if you think very deeply and if you think very thoughtfully, it will be really hard, because like finding the answers of why and how it leads to your life purposes and how you would like to achieve what is your goals, what is your life purposes, and how you would like to utilize your capacity and your capability in doing something. So it's more into philosophy of your life and how you would like to, give it back to community, and how you would like to put your participation can be meaningful for other people too. But in order to be, to empower others and to be engaged with the youth communities organization, first thing first is be aware of yourself first. So self-awareness, self-confidence, self-esteem is one of the way to find your purposes, your interests, your passions, and then it will be lead to how you would like to put and positioning yourself into some organization that might match with your interests. For example, like self-awareness, it's mean like you have to believe in yourself and you have to know and be aware of who you are, embracing yourself and knowing your true strength, your true weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Because like when you have aware about yourself, self-awareness, is having a thought that everyone is special and different in their own way, and everyone has their own capacity, everyone has own capability, journeys, life process, and also experiences that could not be compared with one another. And you have to believe in yourself. In order that everyone can believe in you, you have to believe in yourself first. So finding your passion, finding that who you are, and be truthful to yourself and be aware that we are capable to doing so. It's something that we need to uplift it and we need to believe that. So after we know that our true strength, our interests, our self-value, our self-propositions, then we can articulate our expression and ideas and thought on how we would like to engage with other peoples and how we would like to engage with the youth organization that match with your interests. And second, having a thought that, as I mentioned, everyone is special and different in their own way. And when you open the world, there's not such a thing that everyone is inferior or superior, but everyone is the same. So everyone try to be the best version of themselves and not try to compare with you and your other people. Instead, you need to compare yourself with your past experiences. Is there any changes? Is there any differences? So in order to do that, you need to be truthful. You need to be aware. And after having that self-confidence and self-awareness, now we lead to the self-esteem that we are having a value. We have our self-proposition. We're here. We're capable to do something. And we have our role in the communities. As I mentioned before, like youth are the most fluent segment in society, but also we need to facilitate and also need our collaboration with other people too. So after having a very strong foundation of our self-identifications, that means we aware who you are, So after that, we can try to find what's the organizations, what activities, what a program that match with your interests and goals. So having the skill gaps, objective of your life, career objective, study objective, or even your life aspirations, you can know exactly like what do you want to do in your life and how you like to do it and why you want to achieve it. So give an example that I'm very active in youth empowerments and community development for more than 9 years. It's been like 10 years I've been doing this since our junior high school student. at first, I feel like that humanity and community developments, youth empowerment, it's really my thing, my passion. I would like to enrich the life of people, or in Indonesia, it's say like mencerdaskan kehidupan bangsa. It's always been my goals, like my end games. So I know my interests, I know my passions, I know what my motivation is, I know my life purposes. No, I dive into organization that might be, become a platform for me to learn and to grow. For instance, I joined Paguyuban Mojajaka Ciamis, I joined Forum Generasi Berencana, and now I become the president of ASEAN Korea Frontier Forum Community, and also become the president of the BEM Sipa Columbia University. It's how I would like to give it back to community, and how I would like to enrich people, and how I would like to use my capacity to help other people too. Back again in 2013, where I visit a lot of local communities, different layer of society. Even like I met a household with, a complete family, mothers, fathers, children's, youth, and you can mention every layer of society. And I give them kind of advocacy of social media utilizations, and then small medium enterprises mentoring, talking about gender equality, stunting program, child marriage preventions, and talking about sustainable development goals, human development capacity and capability preparedness for youth, and also empowering youth and mainstreaming them into several empowerment committees and organizations and activities. So, and then I started to build, mini library. It's called like, Taman Baca, and also Posyandu Remaja. It's been like a central of the integrated health center for the young people, adolescents, and also mothers and family companions. I work with them. I talk to them. I listen to their problems and also listen to their voices and be there for them. At least it's not the matter of how big, how small your impact is. At least you give a benefit. At least you give social values. At least you give an impact towards society. So since that time, I learned how I can be useful, and I can use my voices and also my capacity to help other people in need. And then I started to doing the advocacy for education policy, education accessibility, where I travel from east until west of Indonesia, from Sumatra until Papua, together with Srihastuti and also one of the private companies, to directly give them an opportunity to learn English and what applications, and also how I would like to share with all the students all over Indonesia about the importance of education itself. So I motivate them and I also give something to them. And I'm so happy that my work have been, benefit for more than 2,000 students all over Indonesia, and also some universities at the time. And when I give something about it, and they say to me like, Kak Deris, thank you so much for giving me hope and dreams. Imagine like listening to their voices and looking to their eyes with full of hope and dreams. It makes me cry in tears, and I'm truly grateful that I can, give something to them and be meaningful for thing like be a useful and be inspiration and motivation for them to achieve their goals and life purposes. And I asked them, what do you want to do if you have a proper educations? And they simply saying with a very clear and precise, I would like to help my community. I would like to help my parents. I would like to help my people in my areas to have more education, institutions, experiences, and also level. So it means they have their own goals, regardless about the infrastructures, the inequality of education, infrastructure, system quality, and etc. But they still have hopes. They still have, trust. They still have dreams to be a person that can help and to lead the next generation of their communities as the future leaders. So that means I have witnessed like how enormous potential of the youth as a catalyst to achieve the socioeconomic development and have the very meaningful activities for them and meaningful values and purposes for people's life. So it's kind of not only try to achieve your life purposes, but you also give someone's life. And that's very important, where we can, help other people. So growing into the societies and process, I also work, with the international communities and organizations, and join the United Nations, and also study here in Columbia University. I learned how, there's so many potential for young people to be engaged with them. So what I can say that as a youth myself, and also with my experience, that I connect more Indonesian students to international organization and mentorship program, as also Bu Asit had already mentioned about the mentorship program, leadership incubators, and to lead their skills and listen to their voices through, to their social media platform, to other organization platform. And maybe this is the way, like following are the concrete ways that intergenerational dialogue that I mentioned in the first questions and solidarity can improve the multilateral systems, and how young people can be engaged in the multilateral level and international, and also peer-to-peer models that engage youth as a partners to ensure the inclusion in their decision-making spaces. Because we also need to know that youth, to be engaged, it's very important to boost them and provide them more opportunities into the system of the decision-making process. The first one, we can say that we can provide more opportunities for young people to participate in multilateralisms and facilitated by different entities, for example the ASEAN, United Nations, or the collaboration that we have, and also the border government of Africa and others entities that we can join. And also, if you have another organization starting from the local organization in your surroundings or even your school, and then international level. And for me, like for example, like the ASEAN Career Frontier Forum is also my student government in Columbia University, and also there are also I organizations and other stakeholders that through off the collaboration of a strategic partnership with a multi-stakeholder and intergenerational approach. And also providing them like intergenerational exchange and peer-to-peer models provide alternative to top-down engagement strategies by bridging the divide between the youth and policymakers, and also expose the policymakers, expose the local communities to the multilateral engagement program inclusively, and accelerating the youth mainstreaming, which is a strategy for integrating the young people into every aspect of our government, organizations, or community, including individual perspective and shared cultures, intersectionality, and all systems that structure that affect the young people. And last but not least, that the youth political representation must be bolstered to ensure that formal institutions such as the parliaments, government agencies, youth council represent their interests. We need to be heard as a youth, and we need to be seen. We need to be recognized, considered, young women, girls, indigenous, migrants, rural youth, and ensure the inclusion of all voices of us. And because like, if, for example, like we focus on the youth, but we also need to ask all the generations, the government, as I mentioned before, to put the trust to us as a youth, as the next leaders of our generations, and also to be facilitated and to give us a platform also to develop and to grow. If not us, who will continue the legacy of bettering our world? And if not now, when will we deem to play a pivotal role in the improvement of our world? As we know, like ASEAN is one, and ASEAN is big, big recent regions, and the enormous potential that we have is amazing, that we need to, to empower all the young peoples in ASEAN together, united as one. Oh, thank you. Okay, I think Kayanda is still mute. It's on mute.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, Mas Davis, I think that it's really warm. Well, it's really touched me in some of the point of when you're talking about like legacy, or I think that how the youth could be play more like meaningful roles, and how we cannot compare one of each other because everyone is unique, and I also agree with that. But really, that one things that I really want to highlight from what you've said, from what you've answered is like, I think the hope. I think really what makes we move on currently until now, since the start of our journey, even to all of audience here, I think what we want, or what make us still move forward and believe in what we can do in the future is the hope. I think the hope that we have within ourselves. I think regardless of the age, even if like you are the youth or you are the senior, I think that every multi-sectors in here are having hopes within themselves, and that hopes that make us move, that make us going through all of this journey to make everything happens. Thank you so much, Mas Teras. Okay, we'll move on into the next question. So of course, this is question for Mas Rian. So the question is like how to be in line between the youth participation and also the adult participations or the senior participation in the socioeconomic development and the ASEAN community building. Of course, from the last two speakers, they already mentioned regarding these questions, but I want to know from your point of view how to make it more in line between the senior and also the youth, to be like Mas Devi said and also Mas Aziz said, how to be connected, it will be integrated to become like one united power that will give like more multiplier impact in the futures.
Sure, thank you so much, Mas Adit. I think I'd like to echo what the previous speakers already mentioned. The intergenerational dialogue and cooperations need the values of respect and trust. So meaning that I'd like just to give some recommendations and comments based on my own experience because it reminds me when I led the intergenerational dialogue last December representing ASEAN Youth Organization. It was like an event between ASEAN and also the United Nations. So we had this workshop and I led this intergenerational dialogue between the high levels in ASEAN and also some youth organizations that invited to this meeting. So based on my observation, it should be, collaborations between these two entities. We need to prepare ourselves, the youth, but at the same time, the stakeholders could be adult, also the government, non-government institutions also need to prepare themselves. So I'd like to start with ourselves first as the youth. Totally agree. We need to educate ourselves, be it the formal one and also the informal one. As simple as we join like a free online course. That is a very important for us to always keep updates and also to cementing ourselves in this learning journey, so we could be able to understand and also to be more aware with the facts and also the data. Because when we want to reach out to the governments, we need to equip ourselves with the data. So I'd like to invite everyone here, our teman belajar, to be able to really equip ourselves with necessary equipments and also necessary knowledge and skills. Other than that, having networks is really important. The reason why personally I can reach out to the ASEAN Secretariat, because I joined ASEAN Youth Organization. Not only that, I'd like to invite everyone to join the ASEAN Youth Organization. You can also join like the organizations represented by Mas Riet or Mas Deris. You can just choose in any objectives that more resonate with you. But having a profound organizations and the right environment is very essential in my opinion, because the fact that we need also to always be in a inclusive and also safe space environment with the right people and the right time is very important based on my experience. So
One thing you can do, you can join youth organizations, you can join us, the ASEAN youth organizations, because we really focus on the youth development in Southeast Asia. And or you can follow the relevant social media, accounts, for example. Yes, you can follow your lovers, and also friends, but at the same time, you can also follow, some accounts that provide opportunities, informations. Maybe there will be like some conferences or perhaps scholarships and also seminars like this. I think it's really important as well for us to always being updated with those essentials informations. Other than that, we need also to have the right mindset. I think the previous speakers already elaborate this, but I just would like to reiterate. We need to understand that we, the youth, even ASEAN, meaning 15 until 35 years old, not only the future leader. Yeah, I'd like to underline the future, but we are the leaders of today. So meaning that you could be students, you could be, entrepreneurs, you could be workers, caregivers, or maybe problem solvers, knowledge holders, and things like that. But we need to understand that we are not only the leader of tomorrow, but we are the leader of today. Meaning, if we then get the right power, at the same time we get the big responsibility. As one of my all-time favorite movie, Spider-Man movie, Uncle Ben Parker once said that great power comes with great responsibility. Meaning we need to always equip ourselves with the right knowledge, skills, and also attitude for us to be able to become the best of ourselves, right? Not only that, I'd like also to inform you, maybe we discussed a lot of also related to the opportunity, but we need to make sure also we always access to those opportunities, because sometimes in my case, I don't know the scholarship already open because I don't follow the right social media account, for example, or maybe because I don't join this group, or maybe I don't join this organization. Maybe I don't really often opening opportunity information website, things like that. So maybe it's also need ourselves to find the best strategy for ourselves to connect with the right people and also the right information. Yes, we can have fun. We can have the entertainment sites as well, but at the same time, we need also to cementing ourselves in these very essential informations if we want to become the best version of ourselves. For example, AYO provides free online course named AYO Academy. You can access on our website. It is, I think, 99% free and now available in English. These are one of the ways that we in ASEAN Youth Organization think that we can provide to the ASEAN youth to be able to really equip ourselves with the right knowledge. And moving on to the other stakeholders' perspective, yes, we acknowledge that youth participation and engagement in the policy-making processes in ASEAN in regional level are highly encouraged. Especially maybe some of you aware about the ASEAN Youth Dialogue, which the first edition held, I think, in the exact same city where I'm currently based in right now, in Siem Reap, Cambodia. And I think last month, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also organized the ASEAN Youth Dialogue in Jakarta, which I personally also joined as well. But I think apart from that, definitely a lot of homework need to be done. Acknowledging the youth groups also really important for the stakeholders. Again, I'd like to reiterate with respect and trust, because it is really important for us to be able to understand that the intergenerational dialogue and also cooperations can be fully implemented with respect and trust. So one of the ways that we can think after this webinar, what would be the next step after this webinar? Maybe for you, teman belajar, are you then just satisfied with this webinar? I hope not. I hope that we all together after leaving this Zoom meeting room, we could be able to do something. Maybe we can start cementing ourselves with the right informations that I've shared. Maybe you can start looking for informations that provided by the ASEAN Secretariat or other ASEAN bodies. Maybe you can start looking for many opportunities that already out there, but we just not have the right access to there. Other than that, again, the stakeholders need to be open, need to be inclusive as well. Even though I representing the ASEAN Youth Organization, I also have my own identities, meaning that I live in Kalimantan, I am Muslim, and I study international relations, but it's not the case for every youth in this region and even in the world, meaning that myself, I have my own purpose in life, and also I have my own focus, which is youth security. Maybe yourself more focused on community development, which I sense when Mas Darius mentioned that he really focused on community development. Maybe Mbak Astrid more focused on political or maybe the government side. So I think it is really important for us to be able to understand that this inclusive environment needed to be highlighted and making sure in every process and all stages of policy making and also program implementations. Other than that, to conclude, Mas, it is really important. Financial support is really needed, especially when it comes to the sustainability, because when we're discussing about youth organization, when we want to create a positive sustainable impact, financial support is very needed. So I'd like also to invite all stakeholders, please trust us, please respect us, the youth groups, the youth leaders. We can do it together. We can collaborate to making sure that this meaningful youth engagement is really fully implemented in our stages and also in our whole process. Back to you, Mas.
Okay, thank you, Mas Rian. Yeah, I can agree with it. So I hope that in these sessions from these webinars of Teras Belajar, all of the stakeholders will be interconnected each other and will be supporting each other. Okay, now before we move on, I think I believe that there are a lot of questions in the mind of the audience right now. But before we move on into the Q&A sessions, I would like to inform to all of you, and also I would like to say to extend our thanks to Mr. Ricky Siregar from the Coordinating Ministry for Human Development and Culture. He's the Assistant of Deputy of Youth Empowerment who support the realization of this event. So I would like to thanks on behalf of all of the organizers and also on behalf of all the speakers. I would like to say thank you so much, Mr. Ricky Siregar from the Coordinating Ministry for Human Development and Culture. Okay, so we'll move on into the Q&A sessions, but I'm sorry because the limited of time. I'm sure that all of you, because this is already quite late in Indonesia, to make sure that we have like an effective and efficient time. So I would like to inform you that we would have like one open mic questions and also one question from the Slido. So first I would like to choose for the questions from the audience. So the first one will be from Rizky Kurniawan because his name is on the top of the list. So Mas Rizky, please you could ask the questions.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good night, Mr. Hendarsha, Mr. Rian, Miss Astrid, and good night to Mr. Deris. I introduce for introduce first that my name is Rizky Kurniawan. I come from Bogor, and my institution from Al Ittihad Primary Islamic School. And then I want to ask something, how I could make sure someone who doubt about my capabilities in my corporation or my institution. That's it. And thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mas Rizky. So, I would like to repeat the questions again. So, Mas Rizky actually says how to make others undoubted without he himself and also his institutions. So that is the questions. Maybe one of our speakers want to answer, and of course for others, you could also join the Q&A sessions by writing your questions on the Slido. So please, maybe one of the speakers, is there anyone who want to ask? Want to answer the questions from Mas Rizky? Okay, Mas
Maybe.
Davis.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hello, Mas Rizky. I hope everything
Hello.
is okay with you, and yeah, good morning from New York City. And yeah, the question, how can we make sure that everyone, there's no doubt at all to us in terms of our capacity and capability in making corporations, right? The first thing that we need to do, to have a mindset that we cannot satisfy everyone because we're not people pleaser. But the things that we need also to ensure that how we would like to present ourselves, it's mean like self-positioning, self-propositions, and also showing our values. And we also need to be driven to deliver our integrity and striving for excellence and showing your capacity and capability in a good way. So if you have your true strength already, I mean, you know already your true strength, your weaknesses, opportunity, and threat, you know what's your life purposes, like what do you want to over as incorporation, and you have already identified the problems, opportunities, and what kind of the cooperations that you would like to offer and negotiate to that persons or stakeholders. I think it's very carefully to research on how the need of the other stakeholders in that sense, what kind of context that you want to bring, and what kind of programs or cooperation that you would like to create and manage with them. Because like when we're talking about management of agreements, corporations, the most important thing is how it to become like win-win solution, how it will be beneficial for other stakeholders, which is other party, and also how we would like to receive a benefit for it. And we also need to ensure, like how the mutual understanding, mutual respect, and mutual cooperation among us. And no matter what kind of judgment that people will deliver to you, as long as you are, delivering and articulate your programs, your ideas, and your self as having like a self-value, self-proposition, and good self-positioning, I think it's not matter anymore again, because like it's depend on how they perceive you, as long as you deliver and present yourself in a good way. So nothing to worry about it. But as I mentioned before, like finding what the needs of the cooperations, what kind of the sustainable cooperation that you would like to have, what kind of outcomes that, and also output that you want to achieve, what is your expectation, what is their expectations, and how you would like to have a solid foundations agreement. Because like, but again, in terms of cooperations and negotiations, it coming from what is your shares, and common interests, common propositions, and also common negotiation itself. Because now if we would like to proceed toward the next cooperations, what's the next outcome that they would like to have? What is your objective? Is it like match with your objective at all? So just focus on yourself, and also focus on your corporations, focus on your organization strength and cultures and values. And also, because like every organization have their vision, mission, objective, corporate values, or even like their objective that would like to achieve, right? So, and also would like the program that you offer, and offer them like a collaboration and capacity and capability that you have, and showing what's your efforts in doing and implementing the programs that are already been implemented. For example, you represent one organization that already focused on one advocacy of education, and you already did what kind of program that ensuring the education accessibility, education policy improvement, and also education quality change in your areas, and making like a very good portfolio and a personal branding of your organization programs, and can give them feedback and what kind of values that they can receive and they can be achieved. So I think it's very important for us, and not focusing on what people say and what people adopting, because not our job to satisfy people, judgments and point of view of what you're doing. As long as you have your capacity and capability and have self-proposition, be brave and be truthful, be sincere what you want to contribute toward the community itself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mas Deris. Thank you, Mas Rizky,
Okay.
for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Deris.
I hope it answered the question. So,
Thank you, Mr. Deris, about your answer.
okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, so the next questions, I will take it from the Slido. Maybe Pimin, could you share the question from the Slido? Okay. Okay, so the question is from Laras Ander. So the question is, what is the real role that today's youth can play in the socioeconomic development? Is it enough for the government to support young people just by dissemination? Maybe Mas Rian or Mbak Astrid would like to answer these questions.
Yeah, I think Mbak Astrid can go first.
Astrid, feel free.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think it's really important, yeah, to know as youth what role we can do to support, to have a role in socioeconomic development. And I think there's a lot more things that the government can do, and already highlighted by previous speakers. And actually, there has been so many gems, yeah, in the throughout this session. I'd like to commend and salute my fellow speakers for the very insightful sharing and answers from the perspective of the ASEAN experience from Mas Rian, how he can manage to reach the higher echelons. And I think it's really important because Indonesia is one of the founding members of ASEAN, and it's really important organization that Indonesia is a part of. But more practically as well, we need to involve youth in the pillars of ASEAN, in terms of like the political aspects, the economic aspects, and the social cultural aspects as well. And just highlighting what Kang Deris shared in terms of his experiences, his initiatives and grassroots movement, which resulted him to have a greater role in society, and highlighting the regardless of the big or small impact, but at least the benefit is shared. And it's really important because we believe that our fellow youth here, almost 500 people here, do have a role in society. And basically seniority is a challenge in our region, in ASEAN region, that right now I think the representation of youth in Indonesia is quite better as compared to several years ago, in which we have to wait and go through strenuous process. We go through various process first, But for us that have privilege to opportunities, we have to share it. Concretely, for example, if youth organizations have initiatives to better the society, and there are channels for support, be it support for exposure, support for, let's say, funding for those initiatives, we have to share it. And another aspect that we need to highlight is that especially post-pandemic, there has been a higher rate of NEET youth in Indonesia, or the youth that are not educated, employed, or trained. And I believe this is also the same for the ASEAN region. And in order not to be a part of the problem, we have to be part of solution. And for those youth that have initiative to increase youth employment through entrepreneurship initiatives, those adults or governments need to give more access and platform to those initiatives. And again, we have to highlight the capacity building as well, and also engage the youth with other youth organizations that have similar interests for greater collaboration, because competition is only for those that are in the bottom, right? But as youth leaders, as youth organizations, we have to help each other bloom, because we are like a garden. And this is especially important because as we're talking about the spirit of ASEAN, the spirit of unity is very important, and it has to be translated to us as youth organizations, youth platforms, and those that have the access and privilege to share as much as possible and involve youth in all stages.
Okay, thank you, Astrid. Is Mas Rian still here? Do you want to add something, Mas Rian?
Yes, I'm still here. Don't worry. But I do apologize. I'm currently having the internet connection problem, so just bear with me. So the question about the role, So role. I'd like to ask you again. Are you students, or you already become a professional? So perhaps you become entrepreneurs now, or maybe government workers, because it really depends, right, when it comes to role. But let me elaborate a little bit. How much time do I have, Mas Adit?
It's okay. So yeah, you can have like 1 or 2 minutes to answer it.
Okay, that's short. So if you students, you can equip yourself with the right learning process. For example, if you love writing, you can produce writings and join some competitions, provided by the ASEAN's related bodies. Because usually, if the submitted papers will be collected to the relevant stakeholders, and sometimes it's also could be taken into considerations for the ASEAN government, if I'm not mistaken. If you're professionals, for example, like lawyer, you can just focus on your responsibility and your area, meaning that you can help with making sure is the law enforcement in the right place and the right time. If you're entrepreneurs, you can just produce more job opportunities, because I saw in the group chat right now a lot of young people, fellow young people attending today. They focus. Oh yeah, Bobo. Okay, you can mute the microphone a little bit. And then job opportunities. I think it's very relevant and important and challenge that happen not only in our country. I mean, in my country, Indonesia, but also across the Southeast Asia and also the world. The entrepreneurs could, elaborate more on those areas, so you could be able to help all of the impacted parties, and also groups to have more job opportunities. For example, if you government workers, one of the best example is actually my colleagues, also my best friend, which are one of the organizers of this event, Mas Ilham. I think is very into this meaningful youth engagement, and he tried his best to advocate and promote this concept within his aspects and also his role and responsibility. I think these are the roles that we can, play around and elaborate more related to our roles and also our activities right now. Other than that, I also asked this same questions actually to the ASEAN Secretariat people. So one of the solutions that they gave first would be you can join like a conference organized by the ASEAN related bodies. Could be from the ASEAN Foundation, for example, or maybe you can join also our conference, the ASEAN Youth Organization Conference. For example, I think I've already shared with you I think from the past 2 months, we organized this ASEAN Youth Economic Forum. Then this outcome document submitted to the ASEAN Secretariat itself to take into considerations for them to produce and also create policy making process. Other than that, you can also definitely always submit yourself into various online platforms that you can be able to, learn and also equip yourself with the right and also the correct informations, attitude, and also skills. I think these are the simple roles that you can take right now. Hopefully, clarify.
Okay, thank you, Mas Duyan, for the answers. I think I'm sorry, guys, to all of you, because it's quite running late, so we only have like a bit of time. I think that's only the 2 questions that we can afford to answer. I believe that you really want to ask all of these great speakers right now, but unfortunately, we only have a limited times, and I hope that next time we have the opportunity to ask the questions to all of the guest speakers here. Okay, now maybe if I may, I want to make a conclusion for tonight's session. So basically, the role of youth in the socio-economic development and ASEAN community building is not only like a one person's actions, but is part of the all multi-stakeholders. All of the stakeholders should participate in this role. Not only the youth, but the youth should also increase his or her capabilities, his knowledge, their experience, to be able to give more impact into the development and also the community building in the ASEAN. And one things that we must have is that we don't have to compare ourselves with everybody, because everyone is unique, everyone has their own preference, but what we all want is the greater good, of course, for Indonesia, for our country Indonesia, for the ASEAN, and of course for all this world. Rahmatan lil alamin ya. So that's the purpose that we want to pursue, and this hope that really what make us going further to take on to the next level, to make all these things happens. And then it's not about the activity, but it's all start from our mindset. And don't forget is to develop, to grow your network, because without the network we cannot do this alone. We have to rely on the help of everybody, of course, not only us, but with the help of everybody we could reach what we want in the future with our network and also our capacity. Maybe that thing that I can conclude a brief for tonight's session, because there are a lot of important things tonight. Thank you for all of the speakers tonight, Mbak Astrid, Mas Deris and also Mas Rian to participating in this event. And last but not least, I would like to invite all of you to open your cam and to have a photo sessions again last time. So this will be the moment that we will start our next step into taking the role as a youth for the development and also the community building in the ASEAN. So let's make it our manifesto. Yeah, tonight become a manifesto for our action in the futures. Maybe Pimin or our MC could the
Okay.
session.
Hi. Okay. So while we wait for others to open their camera and get ready, maybe you guys are ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. On 1, 2, 3, say cheese. Once again. 1, 2, 3, say cheese. All right. Now I'd like to take a documentation with all of you, our participants.
Okay.
First slide.
The best shot.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, say cheese. Okay. 1, 2, 3, say cheese. Next. 1, 2, 3, cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. And last, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, well done. Thank you for attention, everyone. I hand back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Pimin. So once again, thank you for all of the guests, Mbak Astrid, Mas Deris, Mas Rian. So if you have another agenda, please do so. You can leave the sessions. And lastly, thank you so much for coming here and give a lot of knowledge and insight to all of the audience. Thank you so much, Mbak Astrid, Mas Deris, and Mas Rian. Okay, so maybe that's all.
Thank you.
Today's session. Yeah, thank you so much, Mas Davis, for today's session. So I would giving back the stage to our MC tonight, Gianni.
All right, thank you, Kadit. And I would like to say thank you for all of our amazing speakers who have shared their opinion in our discussion tonight. I also want to thank Kadit for leading the entire discussion tonight. You are amazing. And to all the teman belajar who have attended and participate until the very end. It was such an exciting learning journey with you guys, and it turns out that we, as the younger generation, we have so much to contribute on for the development of our country. But teman belajar, please don't move on from your seat just yet, because there is an important and interesting information that will be shared after this, including the giveaway announcement. Yay! We have so many gifts and prizes for you. But before that, I would like to invite maybe 1 or 2 teman belajar who would like to share their insight or their testimony of today's event. Is there anyone who want to volunteer to share your insight and knowledge? Come on, is there anyone who would like? Okay, there's someone who raised their hand. Please, Kariski, you can turn
Hello,
on your
am I
mic.
audible?
Hello,
Am I audible?
okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, Mbak Giani. So, what I supposed to do right now?
You're supposed to share what the most memorable insight or exciting learning that you gained today.
Well, I would like to present you my insight about today's event tonight. So, I'm really delightful from the start about this event. I'm really happy to be right here, and also I got so many perspectives from different persons. So I do believe that everyone right here have their own insecurities, but we must do believe that all of us is unique. All of us are unique, and we have something special that others don't. So let's be brave and be confident that we are special. We have something to develop. That's the first. And the second is we as young, we have voice, and also we have something new. we call it innovation. So that's why we must brave that the future in our hand can be a better future. I think that's all from me. And also I do believe that all of the speakers was someone have that have so many experiences according how they see, how they speak, how they listen, and how they telling their experiences. So they have good capability to spend their time right here telling us so many things. I think that's all, Mbak Aviani, and I'm happy for you today, tonight, and all of the participants. Thank you.
Okay, let's give a round of applause for Rizky to brave enough to share his insight. Okay, maybe one more, maybe from woman participant. Is there any woman leader here who want to share her knowledge or insight from tonight's sessions? Okay, is there anyone who wants to share? Oh, Johanna Harefa, maybe you would like to share your insights?
Sebelumnya, terima kasih atas kesempatan yang diberikan kepada saya.
Yes, go ahead.
Maaf, saya menggunakan bahasa Indonesia saja. Banyak hal yang telah saya pelajari dari webinar hari ini, dan suatu kehormatan bagi saya dapat mendengar webinar dari kakak-kakak sekalian. Dan hal yang saya pelajari dari webinar ini adalah kita sebagai pemuda itu punya kesempatan dan punya hak untuk bersuara. Kita punya hak untuk berupaya demi memajukan bangsa. Nah, kita sebagai pemuda ini juga memiliki harapan. Jika kita tidak memiliki harapan, bagaimana kita membentuk negara ini? Harapan kita ini harus memiliki tujuan yang jelas. Nah, harapan ini juga yang membuat kita tergerak. Kalau bukan kita sebagai pemuda bangsa, siapa lagi yang dapat memajukan bangsa ini? Dan kita juga harus beradaptasi dengan teknologi yang semakin berkembang. Jangan sampai kita ketinggalan. Kurang lebih begitu, Kak. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you. Let's give a round of applause for Johanna for his wonderful speech. Okay, so teman belajar, please do not move on from your seat just yet because I have an interesting announcement about giveaway. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we will be announcing the name of 5 lucky prize winners with the best questions. Who could they be? Let's spill the name right away. Congratulations to drum rolls. Yay! Congratulations for Maulida, Laras Andar, Rizky Kurniawan, Kristi Kamarudin, Rizky Habibillah, Johanna Harefa. You have won a 15-word rupiah e-wallet prize. Please take a screenshot and send it to the admin in the number below and claim your prize. For those of you who have not yet been selected as the winner yet, please do not be disappointed because there are still other opportunities coming up just next. So please do pay attention. I still have one more quiz for one lucky winner tonight. Okay. Are you all excited? Oh, don't forget to follow and answer in the comment sections of @deputy4_Kemenko PMK, and be sure to follow the Instagram page first. So before you answer this quiz, please do follow and answer in the comment sections of @deputy4_Kemenko PMK. Okay, there will be an exciting gift and
recording
giveaway
stopped
for you. Okay, let's move on.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so now don't forget also to follow at ASEAN.official for exciting announcement and also event. Okay, and now for those of teman belajar who have been asking questions, where should I fill in the attendance form? This is the time for you. Do not forget to fill out the attendance list and provide your best feedback for tonight's sessions through the link displayed on the screen. The feedback link will be accessible until 11 p.m. tonight. And next, I will read out the instruction for certificate retrieval for tonight's sessions. Okay, so how do I claim the e-certificate? First, certificate will only be provided for participants who registered at the link on the screen. And also, it will only be provided for those who attend until the very end of the event and complete the feedback form. The link to access the certificate will be sent via WhatsApp group within a maximum of 5 working days after the event, excluding weekend because we all need a healing. And the third, the certificate can be downloaded until 7 days after the link is shared. If the deadline is exceeded, the certificate will no longer be available for download. So be sure to fill in the attendance form and also the feedback forms to gain your certificate. Okay, once again, I would like to thank you for all teman belajar who attend tonight's sessions. May the insights shared by our speaker earlier bring new knowledge and ignite the motivation for all of you to pursue other areas of learning. For another excitement event, please do follow on Instagram at pemimpin.indonesia, at Kemenko_PMK, at Deputi4_Kemenko PMK, and at ASEANKorea.official. As the master of ceremony, I would like to express my gratitude and apology for any intentional or unintentional mistake in my words or action. Good night, everyone. Have a good rest and may peace be upon you. See you on the next Teras Belajar. Bye-bye.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me, someone I've needed so long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me. Somehow I know I'll be strong. For once I can touch what my heart used to dream of long before I knew. Whoa, someone warm like you would make my dreams come true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me. Not like
Recording
it's hurt me
stopped.
before.